Hey there, guys. Welcome back to this 10 Weather Chat. Meteorologist Julia Kwedi here, and I'm joined by a special guest today. We got Elijah Nixon here joining me for our podcast today, our sports reporter. How you doing?
Hey, Julia. I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm good. We got a lot to talk about, kind of going into how sports kind of intersects with the forecast coming up this weekend. I know you've been covering what our major sports story is for this week going on with the Lady Vols for softball. So let's go ahead and get into that, and you can let us know what's on the up and up with that right now.
Yeah, the Lady Vols are the 7th seed. No surprise there that they'll be hosting 21 years in a row. I don't know how old you are, but for me, that's a long time.
You just can't help it. Okay.
No, but seriously, 21 years in a row. They're going to come here, host. I think they have a fair chance of getting to the next round. They play their cards right or just play their brand of softball. Of course, you got Sage Marcheco, who's pretty good. She does well on the mound, and Colin Pickens was the number 1 pick in the ASUL, so she's going to be well on the mound. It's just coming down to their hitting. Their hitting has been an issue, and that's why they lost to Ole Miss because they just couldn't swing their bats well in that game.
Okay, so what other teams are going to be playing against coming up this weekend?
Indiana's going to be here. Virginia's going to be here, but their first game they open up will be Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky is not as bad as people think. I mean, they just got over 500, but they won like 10 games in a row to end the year and won their conference championship.
Okay.
So it's going to be pretty decent, but I think Tennessee gets them. I think they beat them pretty bad, but that doesn't mean that Northern Kentucky is a bad team. You know what I mean?
I hear you. So when do these games kick off? Like, is it this weekend starting on Saturday? It starts on Friday?
Friday. Okay. 5:30 is their first pitch. Then the next game I think will be at, when that one ends. And then if Tennessee wins, they'll play at 2 on Saturday. And let's pray they win on 2 at Saturday so we don't have to stay to the next. Because if they lose, then they'll play back-to-back, and then we got to cover both.
Oh, okay.
But if they win at 2 on Saturday, then they'll play on Sunday, then next round.
So the more wins equals less of a longer day.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I can see where your encouragement goes into that. A little bit of bias there, of course. So this is where I'm thinking the forecast kind of ties into, of course, the Lady Vols having their games this upcoming weekend. The forecast looks like it's going to be really hot. So we have an area of high pressure that's going to begin to set up across the southeast at large, even extending to the mid-Atlantic and the northeast. So high pressure means lots of sunshine and warm, well above average high temperatures. So for this weekend, that means we're going to be reaching into those mid to maybe even upper 80s. I'm a fan of this type of weather. So it's going to be fun. You're already shaking your head. Okay, let me finish and we'll get into it. So we're going to see, we'll have hot and sunny conditions, maybe a few possible spotty showers that could pop their way on in going into Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, a little less likely on those rain chances, but it's going to be feeling like summer for us here in East Tennessee. So how do you think that's going to either work for or against the Lady Vols in their games?
That's a weird question. It's a great question, though, because I feel like Virginia, Northern Kentucky, the only ones probably out of it. Well, do Indiana probably get the same weather around this time?
Indiana? A little cooler.
So I think it's like, I think everybody gets fairly the same weather. I think the only people that will be dying out there is us.
Us as in y'all.
Yeah, the sports people.
Sports okay, that makes sense.
We don't have cool fans blowing on us, and we don't have water at our right next to us in our reach. But again, I don't think it really affects Tennessee that much because I just think that they're going to be used to it. And I think for other teams, I don't know. I mean, you're the meteorologist here. I don't know if everybody else get the same weather, but I think it will be kind of fair for everyone.
Okay. Good to know. I know for me, I was born in the spring, but I feel like my heart belongs to the summer. I love these warmer temperatures. I know one thing that you and I both have in common, we are both former athletes. Yeah. I know for me as a tennis player, I did not mind the heat. I know my opponents, though, occasionally, the heat bothered them, especially because tennis matches can go for a very long time. You can be spending hours and hours out there on the tennis court. And, of course, on concrete, it gets extra hot, even compared to, like, different surfaces like grass or a regular type of field. So I know for me, I love the heat no matter what. If I was competing or just out and about, I know for you, you're not a huge fan.
No, before I even get to me, I just want to know, like, when you're running around on that concrete, do y'all get, like, extra water breaks? Y'all don't get blisters? You get blisters in the summertime, right? You never had one?
No.
You never had a blister?
I mean, I'll get blisters on my hands, but not on my feet.
Even from the heat?
Not that I recall, no.
Did your shoe ever melt?
No.
You ain't playing no heat. You ain't playing no heat then.
I mean, if we want to get very scientific,
come on, get me then.
If we're already dealing with 80s to 90 degree weather just in the atmosphere, concrete gets hotter than what it is in the actual air. So we could be in the hundreds when you're actually playing on the court in terms of how it feels because concrete absorbs more heat.
Is it hotter than turf?
I don't know the science of turf, so you would have to explain that to me.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know it'd be hot. I don't know. It's just turf is hot and it hurts when you get. I'd rather play on grass.
Okay.
Than anything. Turf, you get like rug burn and.
Well, turf is artificial as well, so I think that could definitely make a difference in comparison to actual.
Yeah, you can see
grass.
the heat rising up when you walking on. I hate it playing on turf. Turf, but that's where people are going towards because it's supposed to be faster for people. But no. But
so what sports are doing that?
Football.
Just football? Okay, I didn't know if any other sports play.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think I want to say some soccer fields are like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know, but I know like a lot of people would rather go on natural grass. I mean, for medical reasons too. Some people tear their ACL a lot more on turf. Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just think like that's the natural grass you could plant faster and more firmer. Where turf you're not really planting as hard because it's rubber. Like you're just running on rubber. So I guess like it causes a lot more injuries. But I guess I'd rather do natural grass even though it causes more mosquitoes. But I don't really like mosquitoes either. But I guess I don't like nature at this point. but I'd rather do natural grass than turf though.
Okay, well going back to the weather now, when you're back in your former athlete days, what type of forecast would be your preference going out on game day?
I loved the fall. The fall was the best because it was a mixture of like cold and hot. You wasn't really bundled up. You came out there normal. I mean, some people, if they're colder nature, a trick, they used to put Vaseline on if it was cold.
Oh.
Yeah, because it'll keep you warm. I never did it. But it was like when you're in the fall, it's like everything's perfect. The air is crisp. You're not too hot. You're not too cold. You don't feel like you need, heat. Well, if you're colder, you don't feel like you need water at every 5 minutes. And plus, because you're playing with a helmet and shoulder pads, so... Like, I love the fall. It was just beautiful. Like, it was beautiful.
Oh, okay. Fall isn't too bad. I feel like fall is a good happy medium because you still get, I guess, that tug of war of more like summer temperatures some days starting to feel a little bit more cooler as you're going and transitioning into wintertime. I feel like that's the same for spring, too. I feel like spring and fall are more like transitional seasons where you get a little bit of a mixture of both.
Your favorite season is what?
Summer, clearly. Put me in the heat. I want I don't care about humidity. I don't care about 80s. I don't care about 90s. Like, I already know what my weekend plans. And I hope that folks at home, you guys are making your weekend plans. If you don't plan on going out to support the Lady Vols, going out to the pool, I know that's what I'm going to do. You can't let these beautiful conditions go to waste.
What? It is too hot. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's not that bad yet. But like when it hit the 80s and the 90s, that's what I'm like, nah, I'll wait till like 6 o'clock when it cool down and I'll come outside. I'm not going outside at the tip of the sun at noon. That's dumb. That's not dumb. I don't even afraid that. It's not dumb. That's because, people have to each his own.
Yeah.
But it's not for me. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, teach their own. And to be completely honest about this weekend's forecast, it is not out of the question that some of us may see low 90s. I have 80s for us right now, but according to 2 different forecast models, they're both trending into the low 90s. I just wanted to be a little bit more reserved in my forecasting to not freak people out this far out. But I will not be surprised, especially for our Southern Valley communities, that we are going to reach into those low 90s, especially on Sunday and Monday.
Do the weather shock you sometimes?
Does it shock me how?
Like when you see something, you be like, no, this can't be right.
Yeah, sometimes. Not with this, though, because like I showed in the past graphic, we have high pressure that bakes you, and it's going to be a really strong ridge. So that means we're going to see abnormally warm temperatures. And it's, again, not just exclusive to us here in East Tennessee. Back at home in the DMV, my mom already told me with their local forecast, they're going to get 90s next week as well. So we're all going to be baking.
No, I am not ready for that. And when does summer end here? Do you know?
When does summer end here? Well, it ends for everybody at the same time. I mean, like the season's still
no, because you've been to Texas and I've been to Louisiana. You know what I mean by that.
Okay. If we're talking about when it feels like it ends, here or in South Texas?
Like here.
Well, I just got here, bro, so I'm going to be experiencing this with you. I just got here literally like 6 months ago, so I don't know how. I'm assuming that Tennessee is going to be similar to back at home for me, which is Maryland, because obviously it's not that far away. Just like what, 3? No, wow, I wish that's not a 3-hour drive. That's close to 7 hours.
I was about to say
geography. Yeah. But I'm assuming that temperatures probably start to cool off going into like October and November. Like September's probably we're starting to feel that push and pull of getting some more cold fronts that's going to start to cool us down. So that's how it was, at least back at home in Maryland. And I'm assuming because Tennessee obviously isn't too far away, that's going to be a similar pattern to that.
Yeah, I hate week ones of football seasons. First time, I think my first football Friday, I wore jeans.
Yeah, mistake.
It was a big one. Everybody else was wearing these shorts, and it was all comfortable. And I'm sitting here like, bro, I had to sit in the truck until it was my hit.
Yeah.
It was too hot out there. And I was like, I'm not doing that no more. I learned my lesson.
I was like, I bet you learned, huh?
I learned my lesson. Jeans are, I thought it was going to be like a little bit, because the air here is crisp, if we can agree on that.
Yeah, I agree.
The air here is actually crisp, and I really like it. I don't like humid air. I mean, I can't speak on you, but I don't like humid air. It don't feel right. I feel like you can't breathe, and then in Louisiana, 9 p.m. it felt like 80 degrees. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
yes, South Texas was the same way.
Nah, I can't do that. I like crisp air.
It's just because obviously Louisiana and South Texas is right there on the Gulf. So all that, and the Gulf is known as lava in terms of how warm it gets and how warm the water temperatures get. So you got all those winds coming in from already pretty warm body of water just flushing into South Texas, into Louisiana. So that's why this just feels extra oppressive with that humidity there.
Can I get back to sports for a second?
Sure.
How competitive were you when you was playing tennis?
Oh my
Talk to me.
goodness.
How competitive you were.
I was bad. I cared too much. I hesitate to say.
What do you mean?
Well, it makes sense. Serena Williams was my idol. So we already know the intensity and the competitive nature that she had just by watching her and everything. So I tried to model how I played and my mannerisms to how she performed. So whether it's like screaming, come on, or just like trying to play mind games and be like intimidating to your opponent across the court, I tried to emulate all of that.
Was you superstitious?
No. Well, most tennis players are. I wouldn't call myself a superstitious person, but it's normal to have, I'll call them like rhythms. Like, so you just do certain things to just get you in your rhythm. For me, it didn't qualify as superstition, but for some tennis players, they were like highly superstitious. That's not out of the norm.
So what was your pregame routine then?
I would listen to music. Sometimes it would be either like gospel or it would be hip hop. And then I would have a moment where it's just complete silence. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want anyone to talk to me. And then I get on the court and it's go time.
Nah.
That's it. I was very simple. I kept it nice and simple because, at least for me, I feel like I was a highly anxious person. I still am to some extent. But I feel like for me that would translate into like just full on butterflies and nerves. So the more simple I kept my pregame routine, then I felt the easier it was for me to feel calm and at ease going into a match.
So who was Julia after a win and who was Julia after a loss?
Julia after a win, it would even depend. Julia, if I felt like I played well after a win and I got a win, I would be happy, I would be content. But if I felt like I didn't play as well as I should have, I would still be kind of frustrated with myself even if I won the match.
After you won?
Mm-hmm. Because I knew I could have done better. I know what errors or mistakes that I made, and I would see some of them as unacceptable. So I would still be like, okay.
So what about after a loss?
Oh, after a loss, we'd be really, really upset. But it depends on who I played. If I played someone that I knew was better than me or just simply outplayed me, not because I particularly played bad in a match, then I would be a little bit more forgiving.
Nah. After I lost, don't talk to me.
I'm gonna say, what about you?
Nah, don't shake my hand.
Oh, whoa. No, see. Okay, I think this is the difference between cultures of football versus tennis.
Why?
Tennis is a very, I hesitate to say this word. It's a classy, dare I say, elitist sport. So I feel like certain behaviors that are okay in like maybe football, basketball, maybe even soccer is not okay in tennis. Like sportsmanship and giving your opponent the utmost respect, and that respect being like given back to you is super important.
No.
Like even in the pros, like you have pros getting booed like out on the court from spectators if they felt like this person is being like rude either to their opponent or to the official, the umpire. Like acting ugly is not okay. Even down to like you will lose points Like, you can't curse on the tennis court. If the umpire were to hear you, you're going to get a warning. Then you get a point penalty. Then you'll get a game taken away, and the punishment just levels up from there. So having a certain decorum and certain demeanor on the tennis court is like the paramount. It was important. Like, there's no going away from that.
You just knocked me on my butt for 2 hours and I lost. And you think I'm going to shake your hand? I don't see how boxers do it. But I'm going to be real. Like, all right, so after a win, I'm the same. I was really calm. I was happy, of course, because you won. It don't matter if I play bad or play good, we won. But if we lost, I wasn't talking for the rest of the day.
For sure.
Trying to figure out what went wrong, what did I do wrong. I was really hard in the film room, like what I did, what happened, like, you know. But, you know, when Monday come around, because we'll play on Saturday, so, like, Sunday, quiet, Monday, I'll be like, all right, well, let me get over it a little bit, start to talk on Tuesday, and then get stuff going. So, I was a sore loser. I didn't like losing. I would not. Now, the thing is, even though I was a sore loser, I was respectful. You beat me. Yes, you got me.
Yeah.
But I'm still not, like, I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Like, to be honest with you,
I think if you're a true competitor, everyone understands that. Like, not that you're going to be a sourpuss or you're going to have a bad attitude or act ugly, but, like, I think every true competitor can understand that when you lose, you are disappointed, whether if it was like a hard-fought game or a hard-fought match and it was extra competitive. If you can just think back, you're always thinking about what you could have done better, what you can improve on. And it's just, I don't know, I just feel like that just goes hand in hand with being a competitor. Yeah.
So I'm the same way to this day. You know, with newscasts and, you know, other sports areas in this market, of course, like, you want the best product, you want the best stuff. And I'm not saying that, you know, like, you know, some days you be like, dang, okay, how they get that one and I want this one. So it's still that same way. I'm not the type of person, if I see him in public, I still be like, man, that's good stuff. Yeah. But I tell him at the same time, you know I'm going to get you, right? So, like, it's how it is. It's like, I'm just really a competitor in that sense because I just, I don't like losing. But at the same time, I want to make sure my best work is always there for somebody to come back.
So you feel like your competitive spirit that you had as an athlete now translates into your work?
Yes.
As a sports reporter. Yes. That's cool. I don't feel like I have that, to be honest. I feel like I still have the perfectionist mindset that I used to have as an athlete, but I don't think it translates to being necessarily competitive anymore.
I would say that. So, like, this is how I picture, like, viewers. Viewers have their go-tos. And if you're not their go-to or you stuff like that, you're going to try to figure out how can you be their go-to. Is it breaking news first? Is it being accurate? Is it saying a name right? Or is it just being yourself on television? You got to figure it out. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to whatever. But I just got to figure out a way of, like, how can I get as much of that? Because I'm going to be real with you. I'm, like, super competitive with everything. Like, if you... I don't know. If you told me you want to go outside and race right now, line it up, Bucky. I'm outside. Like, that's how I am with everything. And but that's how it is. Like, so it's even with the news station, like how I'm getting back to that. I just want to make sure I want to be like that guy. I'm not like big on it, but at the same time, I just don't want to be last. If I want to say that, I don't want to be last.
No, I think that's a good mindset to have because I think at the same time, bare minimum, that drives you to do your best work. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. At least in my eyes, I can agree with that.
Even when I'm a weather person, don't cut this out.
You're not a weather person.
Why can I be a meteorologist?
Do you have a degree? Did you go to school for 4 years for it?
But why can I?
No, answer the question.
But that doesn't mean I can't do it.
I didn't say you can't do it. I just said, do you have the qualifications to do it?
Put me in front of a green screen. We'll find out.
All right. Okay. Well, on that note, I think that means it's time to wrap up. Thank you for joining us, Elijah. I think it was a really interesting.
Hang on. This is producer William here.
What's up,
everybody? I have a question. Earlier, Julia, you said you like to trash talk your opponents.
No, I said that.
You said that. What is getting trash talked by Julia like? I'm just curious.
In a format of tennis or just life?
Yes.
Which one?
Both.
Both? Okay. So in tennis, it's more of a mind game that you play with your opponents because, like I said earlier, with like the certain type of decorum and demeanor that you have to have on tennis court, you cannot fully like trash talk your opponent. You can talk to them, but it's not proper. So you just don't do that. So for me, I guess my trash talking I would do little things that like I wonder how this is going to come across. So, for example, when you're switching sides with your opponent and you're, let's say, I don't know if people can see the bottom, but like let's say this is a tennis court or the tennis, the net, and you're switching sides at the game. So what I would do is that it's a little bit narrow sometimes between the fence and the net. So what I would do as a mind game to like kind of assert that like I'm going to walk in front of you. You are going to stand and wait for me to pass you first. I would always kind of quicken my step and like cross the net first and make them stand there and wait and then cross. Those are little mind games that this is not exclusive to me. All tennis players find little ways to assert dominance, essentially, to get into your opponent's head.
Who got in your head? I want to know what game, because you didn't learn that out of nowhere.
I mean, the pros do it as well.
So did somebody do that to you?
Not that I can recall, because I would try to make sure that I'm going to walk ahead of you. I'm going to.
All right, well, because that happened to me. I'd have been like, oh, you're in a hurry.
No, because, again, I think this is just, as a tennis player, because you cannot explicitly trash talk, you cannot explicitly do things to get under your opponent's skin. You're looking for small, little physical actions or things that just makes your opponent think. Because I don't know, I feel like tennis is one of those sports where you are just hyper focused, and if you can just get someone to just have one thought, just briefly take them off their focus or take them off their game, even just a little bit, that momentum will shift in an instant and the game is just going to change. So you are just looking for small opportunities to just get your opponent off their game. And I would have little moments like that. Now, in real life, when it comes to trash talking, I like banter. I like to go back and forth. I like to joke. So I think, to me, I show that I like you and I show that I enjoy you as a person if I like to go back and forth with you. So if I like to joke, if I like to, I also like a person that can give it back to me. So, like, we'll pick back and forth and it's a good time.
All right.
Elijah.
Yeah.
I mean, you played football, right?
I did.
Oh, yeah. So I know
Right,
you know about
so,
trash talking.
Yeah. Tell me, what was your trash talk method? If I was across the line from you, what would I be hearing right now?
That's funny. I didn't really trash talk. I didn't.
As a football player, it
Come
seems
on now.
so hard to believe.
All right, I'm being so honest. I really didn't trash talk. Like, I would just, like, you know how, like, you catch the ball and, like, whatever happens? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't talk. I'd just look at him, like. Because I wasn't like a rah-rah guy even in the huddle. My brother was, a couple other guys were. Mm-hmm. I was like lead by example because like I feel like words wasn't enough. Like, because I know people that stink and they talk. And then you know people that's good and don't talk. And I'd rather be the person that's all right and don't talk. Like, so I didn't really talk drunk. I had people talk drunk to me. Mm-hmm. I remember one game.
Now you see him reminiscing. He's going back.
Ooh, I do remember one game, man. The guy came out there and told me I wasn't going to do nothing. I wasn't going to score nothing. I did scored 2 touchdowns that game, actually. Mm-hmm. We lost the game. Mm. And, I mean, after the game, he said he respect me or whatever. But he was talking cash before the game. Like, you only run one route, da-da-da-da-da. Like, you're not going to – I'm like, oh, I'm not going to talk. But I don't really talk. But my brothers and the people around me a lot did more talking than I did.
Okay. What about in real life?
In real life? Mm-hmm. Oh, I talk junk to everybody. Okay, I'll walk by you and say something like.
You said you will or you won't?
I will.
Oh.
I would say anything, like, you know, just to mess with people. Like, if I saw, like, I don't know, like, I joke with you about the weather. Like,
yeah. And a take that the people will not get to see when we first tried to start this
podcast.
We started going back and forth. And we were like, okay, we got to start over.
Exactly. I talk junk to anybody. Because I feel like that's how I am. I mean, I won't be like, I'm not the type of person going to, you know, try to offend anybody, but I would like to laugh and, you know, try to get you, like the same way you said, banter, go back and forth a little bit. But in real life, I like to talk junk.
Mm-hmm. I know, it keeps life fun and interesting. Who just wants to be nice all the time? And not to say you're trying to be mean.
Are you mean?
No.
You said who wants to be nice all the time? Are you mean?
Well, I feel like if you're witty and you have good banter, you naturally have a tiny mean streak. Not in like a mean, like I'm purposely trying to hurt somebody.
Are you
but
sure?
Just, yes.
Positive?
I'm dead sure.
My feelings was hurt.
I don't think so. I think
when
we're being
we
dramatic.
The thing when we cut earlier.
Cut this jar talking.
my feelings are hurt. You know.
Sure, if you say so. If you say so. All right. Anything else to add, William?
Thankfully, no. We can wrap.
William plays sports though.
Oh, William.
Did I play sports?
Did you play sports?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I don't know where you got that information.
Yes, you did. He was an All-American, man.
Yes. For the people listening, I was no. I played upward basketball when I was in 7th grade, and guess how many points I made all season? 2.
Oh, ooh. 2. Oh, wait, did you know that already?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay, you just guessed. Good guess.
I mean, because everybody got a score.
Wow. That was a big.
Everybody got a score. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets a shot.
And there's the trash talking.
There it is. There it is. See, and I was nice. I didn't say anything.
You wanted to. Yes, you did.
I did it.
Yeah, you did.
I'm always nice to him.
How did you get those 2 points, William?
It was a layup.
Yeah!
I was in 7th
That
grade.
counts.
I was
That
like
counts.
5 foot tall.
If you said you would have got 2 points from the free throw line, I would have been like, nah, we got to run that back. We got to sign you back up to this upward church league. And we gotta make sure you get a couple more points, William.
I mean, I guess I could go back. I still got hops, as the kids like to say. I got ups.
I'm screaming. Too funny. Alrighty. I think it's a good point to end it here. I feel like we went over way longer than intended, but it was a lot to talk about. Interesting conversations, kind of seeing how sports and weather kind of intersect, talking about it from your job in terms of what you cover level, of course, with the Lady Vols playing this upcoming weekend, talking about on a personal level and our experiences as a former athlete. So really cool conversations. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, no problem. Anytime you want me back, let me know. Let me do the weather next time. Let me
All
sit
right,
over
on
there.
that note-
Let me
on
sit
that-
over there and do the weather. And I'm here. I'm hip.
On that note, thanks y'all for joining us. I'll see you next time.